Why do men give so much attention to nice bodies? Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. This week I have switched it up just a little bit. I have a guest with me this week and I'm going to be asking him some questions we females want to know the answer to. I'm really excited about this one, so let's meet him. First question, what's a red flag for you?
What is a red flag for me? I'll say anything that could potentially evolve into like a worse behavior, if that makes sense. For example, if we're at a restaurant and I see a person rude to the waiter or waitress, to me, that's a red flag, even if it's just like a hint of rudeness. Because on first dates, the person kind of dials back who they really are.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you always rude to people. So to me, it's any kind of behavior that could potentially evolve into something toxic or bad or harmful to any kind of connection.
You know what? I completely feel you on that because anytime I go out with somebody, I pay attention how they treat the waitress or the waiter. Like that speaks so much volumes about the person. Like you don't want to go somewhere where they're always antagonizing the waiter. So that's a good one. Is that a deal breaker though?
For me, absolutely. Absolutely. That is one of my big deal breakers. Like if you're
That's the deal breaker?
To me, yeah, if you're rude to a waiter or waitress, to me that's like an ultimate form of disrespect.
Doing too much.
What about you?
Oh gosh. You don't take care of your kids.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
That's a no-go for me.
That's a big one.
That's a no. You got to take care of your kids, be in their life in some aspect. That's a deal breaker for me. I will not talk to a guy if he is not taking care of their kids.
How would you find out though? Women, they get bitter. I haven't experienced this, but baby mamas can get bitter and kind of lie or keep the child from the kid. So how would you find out if it was like really legit? Even though it is a red flag, do you just immediately like, oh nah?
I'm looking at how he's acting, how he's moving. Is he talking about his child? Is he, I'm paying attention to everything else and I'm gonna ask questions. And that's important, to ask questions from the jump.
You wanna know something? Ask.
From the jump.
No ambition and no drive is a good one, but you would still have to ask probing questions to kind of figure out what they were in life though.
Why do men give so much attention to nice bodies? Like why is it such a big deal? Why does having a fat ass, why is that what men pay the most attention to?
Men are physical. Men have been physical since the beginning of time. We're physical creatures. Like, we love that shit. Anything that's visually appealing, like, we want it. Like, it'd be easy for me, and I'd be lying if I said, oh, you know, I could be attracted to a woman who wasn't shapely or, you know, well put together. That's a lie. I just think we've always been physical creatures. I'm not gonna say it's a big deal, but for me, and most men like myself, that's the first thing I see, right?
Yeah,
that's gonna be the
honest.
first thing that draws me to you, is your physical appearance. Now you may have a great personality with a bad body. I would never know, because if I'm being honest, I'm not gonna approach you.
Right.
Now on the flip side, the fellas might get mad at me for saying this, but we gotta start checking ourselves because we require so much of a woman's physical and we don't really look in the mirror. I see a bunch of men with dad bods, beer bellies, overweight, judging women that get work done in their body, basically. It's just like, look at yourself. Women go through so much. They have kids. For me, they deal with more stress than men. And stress on a woman's body, stress causes fat to go straight to your stomach. So when a woman gets work done, it's like, all right, cool. Now for a man, on the other hand, you're just lazy. Like if you just let yourself go like that, because we have too much testosterone and too much freedom given to us from women to kind of better ourselves.
But I feel like also we're looking at what people are saying the standard is, what's on social media. That is so hard for like us females. It's just so much pressure to look a certain way. I spend so much money on myself, like monthly, to be honest. Like nails, feet. You should definitely take care of yourself. But in a way, we can't lie. We're trying to look like, in a way, what the standard is.
But you know what? You mentioned pressure. So I know a lot of men that like all types of women. So there's pressure on men from that standpoint too. It's a lot of pressure on men to kind of like that standard, even if they really don't. Like I know men that like big women, but will never admit it because that's not the norm.
What?
And to me, I'm like, if that's what you like, if that's what you like go for it. I'm not gonna judge you.
Do you like big women?
It depends on what big is, because I'm a very active person.
It depends on what big
like
is.
what type of big it is. So,
Okay.
for example, you seen the show My 600-Pound Wife?
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking not.
That's my show. I love 600-Pound Life.
But do you see like all like?
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's just
It's a
not
lot
taking
going
care
on.
of yourself. Okay.
But if you're big and you're put together, like you're very well put together,
Yeah.
not even very well, but if you're proportional and you're big, I can rock with you.
Proportional.
I can
Okay.
rock with you. I'm not gonna deal with nobody built like a refrigerator. For me, I take too good care of myself. I can't.
But that's not right. That's not right, because men should not go in and just saying, hey, no, I wouldn't date somebody that looks like that, because that person that might be built like a refrigerator might be the person you're supposed to be with.
I don't mind working people out. Like that's what I do. But I don't have the patience to deal with that, because while I'm working you out, it takes time to get in shape like that.
Yeah.
I might find somebody else, even though you have a great personality, but with me working you out, I see somebody who's already what I want. So it's tough and it's hard, and I know it's not fair.
It's hard.
And it's not fair to women at all, but that's
True. It's true though.
It's tough. Women settle a lot. Women settle a
We
whole
do be
lot.
settling. We do
whole
be settling.
A whole lot, because behind every bad chick is always like a bad built dude, and I'm just like, what? How did that happen? So what made you settle? Because that kind of resonated with you. You raised your finger and everything. So when you settled, what made you do it?
The shit felt good at that time. We get close with men entirely too fast. We give them too much of ourselves entirely too fast, and that always it never works. It never works. We just got to stop giving so much of ourselves so soon.
That's
We
true.
got to.
That's
We
true.
got to stop. We got to start really looking at and thinking about what we really want. What do we want? What do we see in somebody long term? Like, we got to start thinking about that and not just thinking about, let me get this sex real quick. Because I'm guilty of that.
In
Guilty
my
of that.
experience, like women, it works in the beginning, but long term, like if a woman isn't attracted to a man, like it's not gonna work. Cause I have
Sure.
married women that's been married for years in my DMs constantly, and when I look at their dudes, I'm like, oh, I can see why I get my DMs, but no.
Y'all know why I wanted Jason to come on, because I knew he would be real and he would give me honest answers. I knew he would. He was the perfect guy for this.
Oh, thank you. But shout out to the big girls. Nothing against y'all. Nothing at all.
Does it matter if the person is outgoing? Or do you mind if she's a homebody?
So it don't matter to me what you are, because I'm a homebody. Perfectly good day to me, I can just be sitting on the couch all day. Like that's fine to me. I would want her to be herself, if that makes sense. Like if you're outgoing, be outgoing. Just don't OD, because I don't want nobody to feel like they're constricted. Because again, I can sit at home all day, as long as it's balanced. Like I would still want her to get out and experience what she's been experiencing as far as like being outgoing. Sometimes I may roll with her, but it don't matter to me. Whatever floats your boat. You know, just don't be out. Like, especially if we live together, don't be out at like
Right.
5 in the morning.
It all the time.
I don't want to hear about you out in these streets wilding if you are. Like I don't want to hear it. Since you're a homebody, could you date somebody or be with somebody that was just outgoing and on the scene?
Cause I'm a homebody, but I'm still outgoing though. I still like to do things. I like going places. I feel like I don't mind being spontaneous, but at the same time, I do like just being at the house and in my personal space where I can drink my wine and do my edible and whatever else I want to do.
Shout out to edibles. It's a plus if you're outgoing, because a lot of times I get in spaces where I want to be alone.
If you pay for the meal, do you tip?
Yeah, I do.
Do you expect the woman to tip, or?
So
I feel like if I pay for it, I feel like you should tip.
I'm okay with doing the tip.
I had this conversation the other day. So
I'm okay with doing the tip.
I was raised by all women. So in my mind, how I was brought up, I'm paying regardless.
Right.
Even if you ask me, I'm still gonna pay.
I like
And
that.
tip. So that's just me though. A lot of men, they pay and then ask a woman to tip. I've never done it. A lot of women, when women pay, it's vice versa. I've never.
How do you cheat?
You?
Have you cheated on
Yeah,
anybody
I've
recently?
cheated before. I'm not even gonna lie. In my younger days, I really didn't have a reason to. There was no reason for me to cheat, and it's really never really.
You hear that? Ladies, there's nothing wrong with you.
It's not.
There's nothing wrong with you. You did nothing wrong. It wasn't you.
Most of the time. Sometimes y'all be wildin'. In my case, there was no reason for me to cheat. It was just convenient. It was there. And that sounds so fucked up. Can I cuss on your channel? I'm sorry. It's so messed up. But this is just for me. Like, it was, the woman presented herself to me when I was in a relationship. I just did it. It was inconsiderate. I didn't really think of how it would make the other person feel when she found out, because I didn't really think I would get caught. But I got caught. We always get caught, fellas, too. Remember that. And what's wild is she knew for months before she even brought it up. Then when it came out, I was just like, oh, I really didn't have a reason to cheat, though, to answer your question. It was really, I was being treated right. We were happy. It was just poor judgment.
Have you learned from it?
Absolutely.
Like, if you were to get in a relationship, do you feel like you know better now?
Absolutely, because I think at that time I wasn't really, I ain't gonna say I wasn't ready. Some parts of me were ready. Obviously, some parts were not. Monogamy is very, depending on where a man is in his life, it is very tough, depending on where he is. We gotta get a lot of shit out. And some dudes are just genuinely good dudes. They can just get in one relationship and stay faithful. But the way I was brought up and what I saw as a child, like, monogamy just wasn't it. Like, it's not something you really appreciate until you come of age and realize what you actually can lose from not.
Yeah, that's so
being faithful.
true. That is so true.
And whether you believe it or not, it depends on their circle. Because my circle then is nothing like my circle now. My circle now would have been like,
And real.
what are you doing? Then it was encouraged. So I think it's a maturity thing. But we still cool to this day. I mean, she jokingly brings it up now, but we still cool. Have you ever been cheated on?
Everybody's been cheated on. No, it's not a trigger at all, and that's how good God is, because I've healed from everything that's happened to me. But of course, and I've cheated too, but again, for all selfish reasons.
So let me ask you something. When men cheat, again, we're physical. I can cheat with somebody and not give a fuck about it.
Yeah,
I can just
I've
do
heard
it.
that
and,
before.
like, all right, I'm done. Go back home to my woman. Back then. To me, I feel like when women cheat, you like him. You actually like this dude. You have feelings for this man. So now I got a problem with it. Like, even though I cheated, I'm a piece of shit. You cheated, that was a fucked up move. But you like this dude. I didn't like her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Like,
sex.
you took time to get to know this dude. Women are calculated. You know what I'm saying? You took time to get to know this dude, then y'all had sex.
It's
So he's
different.
been around for a minute. I could have sex with somebody I just met 2 days ago.
And it'd be nothing.
Depending on the type of woman you are, women can't do that. So this is a person that's been in the picture for a long, long time. And I think that's why when women say men can dish it out but can't take it, we can take it, but it depends on the circumstances. Like, you like this dude. You could potentially leave me for this dude. I'm not gonna leave for her. I don't give a fuck about her. But that's I want to say 80% of the cases, not 100%. I don't speak for all men, but that's just my take. When you cheated, did you like the person?
Oh shit, so many.
And I feel like that's the problem. With women, we do cheat and we find somebody else that gives us some of the qualities that you do not give us. So that's where it hits you. You did it because
Yeah,
normally-
it's the insecurity.
for us, we did it because we're looking for what we're looking for.
And what's wild, normally when women cheat, they upgrade.
And when men
So
do
So it's like,
a-
how can we compete with that shit? Like this, he's at a higher plateau than me.
So no. but
So all I
that's
can do
when
is
you
get
look-
mad.
But that's when you look at yourself, because maybe the things that we have been expressing to you is what we found in this other person. So it's either you
Right.
want to change.
By that time, as a man, the trust is gone.
Mhm.
You can't.
You
don't
might
wanna
as
be
well
with
cut it
nobody
off.
else,
And
right?
You
that's
might
a
as well
big
cut it off.
thing.
People forgive, but you don't forget. That's always gonna be in the back of your
You
mind.
have to.
You can't. It's impossible to forget. You
Higher
can
heights.
move on, but the dynamic of the
Right,
relationship
it's
is
not
never,
the
ever
same.
gonna be
In
the same.
today's society,
So when do you?
might as well
so
hang
when
it
do you-
up.
Only way you can move on from the past is if that man showed you something different than what he done showed you in the past. But if he ain't showing you nothing different from the past, then we can't let it go.
Don't never be scared to walk away, especially like, and don't feel guilty about it. You did it for you. He out there doing what worked for him.
That's so true. that's a good ass
Right.
word.
But I found now nowadays a lot of women don't. They don't put up with that shit. They're like,
No.
all right,
Yeah,
cheat, all right.
I'm gonna be by myself,
Yeah.
and I'm
Right.
okay with that. And that doesn't mean I'm not open to being with someone, but I'm okay with being by myself until I get to that place where I feel like I'm dealing with somebody that has healed from whatever scars he's gone through. Like,
But that's a beautiful space to be in though, because a lot of people do this whole popcorn relationship shit, and they just don't know how to be by themselves.
seen what it was supposed to
Yeah,
be.
like I can't stand that. Like,
What do you mean by what's popcorn
So-
relationships? Because I didn't know what a popcorn relationship.
so I have
I've never heard that
people
before.
a big following on social media. So it's just this one chick who every month she posting about a new dude. Like,
Yeah.
okay, oh he took me there, up didn't work out. Oh he took me there, I think he gonna put a ring on it, up didn't work out. Like baby girl, slow down. If it's not working, it just ain't your season right now.
Maybe you need to
Just
work
relax.
on you.
Yeah, relax.
Work on you.
Relax. I think a lot of people are just desperate for companionship.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this. Again, like I said, I switched it up this week. I wanted to get a male perspective and again ask those real ass questions that you might wonder about. So if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe and keep watching for more great content. Thank you so much for supporting me. I'll see you next time. Bye.